Well, hello and good afternoon to my Facebook community. Alejandro Tornato here, coming from Beaufort, Georgia. And today is our transformational mentoring midweek edition. It's Wednesday, and I am so glad that I am um, connecting with you once again. And something remarkable happened today. You see, today, earlier on, I was on Facebook and I was doing something on my page, and then a feed came in that uh, one of my friends and someone that I know from the John Maxwell team family, David Gambrell. And if you don't know who David Gambrell is, I strongly encourage you to check him out. I mean, he has an outstanding and a very solid presence on Facebook. I mean, you can see his Facebook lives on a daily basis and sometimes more than one time a day. I mean, he comes, and every time that he does a Facebook Live, there is solid content that he shared with his community and with everybody else who wants to listen to him, and whose message resonates. I mean, with you. Now he is an expert in digital resources, and if you have followed him for some time, you know that the most important thing that you can do is what? Is build your email list. And I have been listening to him, and that message has been drilling on in my head, and definitely I have been as a result of his teaching and his constant insistence of building and keep building that email list. I have been paying so much more attention to building my own email list. I encourage you to do that. So you can follow Dave Gambrell. You can follow him on Facebook, and if you're interested, I mean, you can join his digital mentorship group, and you'll find tremendous resources. I mean, he shares and he gives away a lot of different offers, and it's just worth checking him out. Okay, yes, I know him, and I know the value that he provides and the value that he adds to others. And so I think, as a John Maxwell team colleague and member, it's my privilege, I mean, to really encourage you to check him out. But the reason that I mention him is because on this transformational mentoring session that I'm doing right now, the topic that I wanted to share with you was the topic of um, goals. And I have goals for this year, and I know without a doubt that you, whoever you are and wherever you are watching me from, and I encourage you, just let me know, where are you watching me. I mean, if this message resonates with you, I mean, if you have some feedback, please let me know, because as I said so many times before, I am not perfect. I'm a human being just like you are a human being, and we are not perfect. I mean, we are striving to get better every single day. And I think that that is my aspiration. I want to be better today than I was yesterday, and even better tomorrow as I am today. And um, but I wanted to talk to you about goals. And as I caught that Facebook Live with Dave, in that, I mean, he was talking primarily. His message was his encouragement to his community was that we should be doing Facebook Lives on a daily basis, without fail, on a daily basis. We should be doing these Facebook Lives to become more familiar with doing things live. I mean, to be in front of a camera. Um, I I tell you the truth, and this is not just patting myself in the back, but I don't have too many problems. I mean, standing in front of a camera. However, what Dave's point was, and it was a point well taken, that we are, the more that we do something, the better we become at doing it. You see, the more that we do something, whatever it is, the more that we write, the better a writer we are going to become. The more that we speak, the more confidence and the better we are going to be as a speaker. The more we train, the better we are going to be as a trainer. The more we coach, the better we are going to get at coaching. And so that was the point. So I do Facebook Lives twice a week. I mean, I do them on midweek on Wednesday, and then I do one on Sundays, and that is my Transformational Mentoring Sunday edition. And that I called it the quote of the week, because I share a quote and then I share a little bit of teaching on that quote, or sometimes, I mean, how that quote perhaps impacted my own life and my own journey, and some of the lessons that I learned from that particular quote. And I tell you, I love quotes, and I think that if you're not into quotes, I encourage you to begin digging and begin looking at quotes, because once you get that taste, and once you get that knowledge and that wisdom that comes from different quotes and from different thinkers who came up with such wonderful quotes, and you begin remembering those quotes. I mean, sometimes perhaps committing those quotes to memory. But then the more that you work with a quote and the more that you think about a quote, then you are going to be remembering that quote, and that quote is going to be in your subconscious mind and is going to be working and helping you behind the scenes. You know, sometimes it's like, I mean, your computer, I mean, you have apps and you have programs that, even though they're not in the main screen, but they're doing their work behind the scenes. You don't see anything happening, even though lots of things are actually happening. Okay? And they're helping you. So, and in that Facebook Live, then Dave mentioned a quote by one of his mentors. And it was one of my mentors, even though I never met this man, and I'm talking about Jim Rohn. I never met him in person. I never had the privilege or the opportunity to go to one of his live teachings and lectures. However, I read a lot about Jim Rohn and his books, and also I watched a lot of his lectures or bits of lectures in YouTube. So he, in a sense, mentored me from a distance. Okay, and that's okay. That's fine. A mentoring, you don't have to be with a person face to face. To mentor you. You can have some mentors who mentor you from a distance, even by reading one of his books. In the case of John Maxwell, John Maxwell is a great mentor, and he mentors me. Through his books and his teachings. Okay, so coming back to what Dave mentioned about Jim Rohn, and he shared a quote by Jim Rohn, and I'm going to read that quote to you. I'm going to share it with you. It says, "We set goals not for the achievement of those goals, but for the person we become in the process." Now let me repeat that to you, because this is a very, very important quote. It says, "We set goals not for the achievement of those goals, but for the person we become in the process." Now, isn't that a beautiful quote? That is one of those quotes that I encourage you to commit to memory and to keep it in your mind. And the reason that I wanted to, you see, sometimes the universe has a wonderful way to organize things, to bring bits and pieces of that gigantic puzzle of your life, and it puts the pieces where those pieces belong, where they go. And today that was a great example of that, because, as I said, I wanted to share with you about goals, and then Dave shared that quote from Jim Rohn. And just recently, a few days ago, I had the opportunity to go to University of Georgia in Athens, Georgia, UGA, University of Georgia, Athens. It's about, I would say, an hour drive from where I live. So it was a nice drive. And so I went there because I was invited to go and speak to, you're familiar with the Rotary Club, okay, the Rotary organization. Well, the Rotary clubs, they have other clubs that are called Rotaract, okay? And the Rotaract are clubs that are under the Rotary organization, but those are clubs in colleges and universities. So for college students are able to join a Rotaract club. And so University of Georgia, Athens has a Rotaract club, and so I was invited to go and speak. They started their new semester and I was their first speaker. I mean, to go and speak to them. I mean, what a great group of young students. I had the privilege of talking to them before my presentation, just to get to know them, and there were people in studying law, to become attorneys, and others in pre-med, I mean in biology, and others in management. I mean, so it was like a great group of individuals, and what a privilege, I mean, to share content. And so I share content, and the presentation was about moving from success to significance. Okay, going from success to significance. What does it mean to live a life of significance? And so during the presentation, I talk about goals, and that we are living in a goal-oriented culture. And so I asked them a question, and I said, what do you think that the purpose, what do you think is the purpose of setting goals and having goals in your life? And a few people raise their hands, and it says, oh, I mean, that's very clear. That's very easy. I mean, the purpose of having goals is to achieve the goal, to really fulfill whatever goal it is that you have and that you have set for yourself. And so after everybody, I mean, answer the question, I mean, and so I just looked at them and I said, you know, I really thank them for their answer, and I appreciated the effort and the fact that they took initiative to answer. But I said, you know, as a matter of fact, the purpose of having a goal is not in the achievement of the goal. And they all opened their eyes very wide, and they were very attentive and listening. And so I said, no, I mean, the purpose of a goal is not in the achievement of the goal, but the purpose of a goal is in who do you have to become, or who you become as a result of achieving the goal. So in the achievement of a goal, you're going to be doing things toward that achievement. You are going to implement new routines in your life. You are going to develop new habits in your life. You are going to replace old negative habits that you have in your life. You're going to be making a lot of changes in your life to achieve that goal. So when you start the goal, you are person A. And when you reach the goal, you are person B. And person A and person B are not the same person. And that is the beauty of moving towards the achievement of a goal, is that you begin as one person, but you are growing in that achievement to become a new person, a different person. And that is the main and the primary purpose and reason for having a goal. Is not the achieving of a goal, but is the transformation and growth that you have to go through in order to achieve that goal. So when Dave shared today, earlier on, that quote by Jim Rohn that says we set goals not for the achievement of those goals, but for the person we become in the process, that was a confirmation that I had to share this with all of you during this session today. You see how the universe works? It's magic. You see, when you are tuned and when you are in frequency with the universe, with the central frequency of source, as Dr. Wayne Dyer used to say, when you are connected to source, and you can call source whatever resonates with you, God. Paul Martinelli says God, G-O-D, the grand overall designer. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich calls it infinite intelligence, but is the source of all sources. When you are connected to that source, then nothing but magical things happen. It cannot be otherwise. It just cannot be. It has to be that way. And all the pieces begin to come, and they begin to be put in the right place in that puzzle. And so this is what I wanted to share with you, and I am so glad, I am so amazed that these things happen. So remember, when you're in a conversation with someone and you're talking about goal achieving or goal setting, and someone says, well, I want to achieve, you can say, yeah, but having a goal and the purpose of having a goal, even though it is good, and I encourage you to have goals in your life, of course, but the purpose of those goals is not merely to achieve the goal, but it is the process, the person that you need to be and become to achieve the goal or those goals. Remember that. That is the important, that is the critical and the essential lesson that we need to learn, is who you need to become. Because the goal has to be worthy of you. Okay? And so that's what I wanted to share with all of you. It's always a great pleasure to be connecting, to be doing these Facebook Lives, and I truly agree 1,000% with my good friend Dave Gambrill, who says that we need to be doing this on a daily basis. And I may consider doing this every day. However, I think that twice a week, for me, and as a matter of fact, is going to be 3 times a week, because I wanted to, as I close this session, I didn't want to leave this out. I wanted to invite all of you who are already who like my transformational mentoring with Alejandro Tornato page on Facebook. I mean, who's been following me on that page, and this Facebook lives, they are live on that page actually. But just recently, I started a new page on Facebook. Is called Live Without Limits. Live Without Limits. And that page is with a collaboration with a dear friend of mine who happens to be a John Maxwell speaker, coach, and trainer. And we are collaborating in this with this new page, Live Without Limits. You can go search for it and like the page. I encourage you to go and like the page and follow that page. We are this lady, I mean, Makisher Whetstone. I mean, she is fabulous, and once you get to know her, and you're just going to like that page, because we have the same John Maxwell team DNA. And having the same DNA means that our desire is to add value, is to continuously add value to people, is to help people. You see, I always say, I consider myself an agent of change in people's lives. I want to help people to move from where they are to where they need to be. Because most people, they don't know that where they are right now is definitely much less than where their potential is. And I want to help people explore and expound on that potential. As Les Brown used to say, and says it even now, it says, there is greatness within you, and I want to help you dig into that greatness and that potential, and let you show up in the world with great determination, passion, enthusiasm, energy, and might. That's what I want for you. And that's why we started this page, and we had our official launch with a Facebook Live. You can see me, and you can see Makisher Whetstone introducing the page and letting you know what the page is all about and what we're going to do. I mean, we are going to be collaborating on the page. We are going to be doing. We're working on a book study. I'm not going to tell you too much. I'm going to keep it a little bit of a mystery for right now. But we're working on a book study, so we are going to do that. And even more important, we already we created an event on Eventbrite. And you can see, you can register for this event on the page on Live Without Limits. You're going to see it. We are having our first workshop, Makisher and myself, on Saturday, May 2nd. Pay attention to this and take note. Saturday, May 2nd, at 9, from 9 a.m. till 1 is called Live Without Limits, and we are having it here in Norcross, Georgia. I would love for as many of you who want to register, registration is open. Just go either to the page Live Without Limits and look for that event, or go to eventbrite.com and look for Live Without Limits in Georgia, and you will find it. You can take a look at the description. It's going to be a personal development workshop. We are going to be talking about fear, about the terror barrier. We are going to be talking about limiting beliefs, those beliefs that keep you and they limit your potential, your greatness. We're going to be talking about self-confidence, talking about forgiveness, self-forgiveness. And we're talking about the importance of having and building healthy relationships and associations, because the toxic ones are the ones that are very dangerous. So it's going to be great if you want to keep growing in your life, if you want to take your life to the next level. I encourage you, go and register for that workshop, Live Without Limits, on Saturday, May 2nd at 9 a.m. Don't leave it. If you think that that is for you, go and register. Don't procrastinate. Don't put it off. Just register as soon as you can. And I myself and Makisha would be very excited and glad and happy to meet you in person, and to get to know you, and to be able to share content that will be very valuable and will add value to your life. So that's all that I want to say. Otherwise, I mean, just if you want to reach me or ask me a question, or want to help you with coaching, one-on-one coaching, just go into my website. The website is right here, alejandrojtornato.com, and send me an email or contact me through the website. I will be more than glad and willing to connect with you and to help you in whatever I can do for you. So until the next time that we meet, this has been a pleasure. This has been truly a pleasure connecting with all of you. And let me just remind you before I close to live every moment, be resilient, and also be kind, be passionate, be well.